Welcome back to another episode of Football Tussle.
Hello.
Hello, everyone there. Myself, CIC, Grand Champ, and AY Footy there. And what the last 7 days it's been. Welcome back, lads, anyway, still.
This week was mad.
Definitely mad. What's it called? All over the place there. Domestically, league, you name it there still. Anyway, let's start with what happened here at Wembley. Let's start there still. Before we go to what's it called, Premiership, let's talk about what a topsy-turvy game it was at Wembley that had it all. Well, it almost had it all. It didn't have no goals there still. So what do you neutral pundits have to say? Because I know what I have to say. So I'll leave you to say something anyway.
Obviously, well done to Liverpool, do you understand, for winning another trophy, do you understand? But me, I knew they would win that. Obviously, I don't want them to win it, but I knew they would win.
No, I'm sorry. Last week, let me hold you there still. Don't try it.
Last week you said Chelsea would win it because I want Chelsea to win it.
Yeah, but that's what you predicted. Now you're saying that you knew Liverpool's going to win.
No, like if you look at it deep down from what we've been saying on Football Tussle, Chelsea are not in the right mind. Do you understand? Liverpool have that slight edge. Do you understand? Going into it, but they tried. They tried. But well done anyway. I'm gonna leave it to my man Grand Champ to just top it up. What do you think?
Well done to Liverpool.
For me, what's it called? I thought Liverpool. It was a great start by Liverpool. First 20 minutes, really, it was like Diaz versus Mendy there still, and then really, I mean, Diaz was a bit unlucky. I think most of the chances fell on his right foot there. Still, he tried his best, and then later on, Chelsea took control, and it was Pulisic versus Alisson there still. So what's it called? And then later on. Also, Robinson there should have maybe scored there. It came off his shin.
Yeah. There's no chances in the game. It was 0-0, but there was no chances.
Yeah, it was a game that had almost everything. And at the end of the day, it was just like the previous three times we played Chelsea this season. Yep. It's been so tight there. So virtually that's 4 draws. And then what's it called? The game is now gone to penalties there still. Yeah. And then I thought, what's it called, when Asuaqueta hit the post there, I thought Liverpool, they've scored their penalties there, even though we saw what happened in the Carabao Cup with Kepa coming on for Mendy, and it didn't work out because Kepa blew himself. This time, Tuchel couldn't take that chance and stayed with Mendy this time. Mendy, really, he should have saved Milner's penalty because he got his hands to it, or fingertips. He should have maybe even saved Bobby Firmino's one because he got his fingertips to it. But maybe that's why Tuchel went for Kepa in the first one, but he couldn't do it again anyway. And then
he dare not try it again.
Of course. And then of all the people that you want to take the 5th penalty, normally Mane's so good because he's done it for his country and stuff there. But because it was against his country, man, they know each other in training when they do penalties. And then what's it called? Mendy outpsyched him. And what's it called? And then obviously then Ziyech scored, and then we scored again, and then what's it called? Mason Mount had the weight of the world on his shoulders there, or Chelsea's on his shoulder there, and he blew himself. And then Tsimikas made the history there, still of scoring the crucial penalty. But for me, as I said to in previous episodes, even if Chelsea had won the FA Cup, he's lucky Tuchel that Roman's gone. Or we're hearing different reports now anyway, that Roman's maybe causing a few more problems.
Why do you say that?
What I'm saying is that it's a poor season. Yes, they've come to the latter stages of competitions, but they've blown themselves. I think that's a record there. That's 3 FA Cups that they've lost on the trot there still. And the Carabao Cup makes it 4.
Yeah, that's not true, but what I'm trying to say is if he'll have won the FA Cup and it
could maybe paper over the cracks.
Have given one more season.
They will still get one more season now because what's name is no longer owner, isn't it? So he's still getting the season anyway. But anyway, well done to my mighty Liverpool. The quadruple is still about on. For
some reason, it's still on. It's still on. But obviously, as I don't want Liverpool winning 4.
Obviously, both of you don't want to, but it is what it is there still. And as I said, before I sign off, I say well done to Liverpool because that was the first time they've won the FA Cup for God knows 16 years. A team of Liverpool's level there, that's too long without winning the FA Cup there.
I think
So
Arsenal remains they've won the most, right? I think FA Cup.
No, we won the league the most, and what's it
No,
called?
I'm talking about FA Cup. The FA Cup. Arsenal's won the most, right?
Yeah, Arsenal's won the most, and I think Chelsea's what's it called, doing a bit of catching up there still. But well done. What's it called? It was a great performance. Well, it's a great result anyway. The performance was good from both teams. Chelsea can, what's it called? Fans and team can maybe count themselves unlucky, but that's the lottery of their penalties, isn't it? Still,
so it's a bad season for Chelsea. Somehow. It's crazy, but hey.
Well, what can you do? That's football anyway still. So what's it called? As I said, for Liverpool, 2 down, 2 more to go. We'll watch that space there still. We'll watch that space.
Impossible.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. But well done for I think Klopp was the first German to win the FA Cup there. So that's another accolade to Klopp's there still, because obviously there would have been a guaranteed German winning anyway.
Can we move on from Liverpool now?
Well, we'll move on.
You could add some topics, some stuff to it.
It's true. What's it called? But anyway, when the team, as I said before I sign off, Liverpool, as I said, are still close to winning the 4. We'll see how it goes anyway. No one's been this close to the end of the season, and they're still in all competitions. But moving on back to the Premiership there still. We move on to the games on Sunday there still. We start with Spurs versus Burnley there. What's it called? What did you think of that game there still?
What was that? That was a 1-0
to it was 1-0 to Spurs there. They scraped through. Burnley were the better team, and it was a controversial penalty there still. Even, I mean, it was, for me, the referee played on, because the referee, there was no one appealed for the penalty. I think the only person that appealed for the handball was Sanchez, that flicked it on to what's it called, Ashley Barnes' arm, but no one else in the Spurs shirt appealed for it. Kane had a shot like 10 minutes, I mean, about 5 or 6, 10 seconds later, and it went wide or whatever, and then all of a sudden, I think VAR had a word in the ref's ear saying that maybe you have to go to the monitor to check something. But you would have thought that because the referee didn't, no one appealed for it really. I don't know why VAR really got involved in that game. I mean, in that decision there still.
It is strange though. But I have to say though, Tottenham, because they've played, I think they played Arsenal a couple of days before that, or what was it? So, that game was expected like that. And who were they playing? Burnley. So it was just one of those games. I didn't watch that game. I just knew it would be one of them mad. I mean,
I watched some of it still. I think Burnley can count themselves unlucky not to at least get a draw, because Burnley, they played, you would even say they slightly played better than Spurs. So it was unfortunate for Burnley there. And other results went against them, and now they found themselves in the bottom 3.
And that went well for Tottenham. Wow.
Sorry?
And the result went well for Tottenham. So
definitely. Back to back clean sheets there as well still. What do you have to say, Grand Champ? Anything on that one?
Nah.
Grand Champ, what's wrong?
Nothing.
You have to be strong there still. I know results didn't go your way today or whatever, but we just have to take the thin, the rough with the smooth, the bad with the ugly, and all that kind of thing, the good and the bad. But anyway, what's it called? It's one of those there, and it's now, I mean, with that win there, that puts Spurs once again in 4th place. It's like musical chairs. Chairs in 4th place, musical chairs, the bottom, the last place of relegation there still, all over the table. But moving on there still, the next game was Villa versus Palace there still, where sorry? Yeah, 1-1 there. What's it called? Watkins is in a bit of a golden streak of scoring there. I think that's possibly his 3rd game in a row of scoring there for Villa there still.
He needed that, because he's been poor this season anyway.
Definitely. And there's
form,
and there's question marks about if he can keep his place next season if Gerrard goes out and buys because I'm sure Gerrard's going to go into the transfer window there in different departments. One of them is the strikers and midfield, I think, and defense. So it was. I mean, Villa were the better team. Unfortunately, they dropped. I mean, they let the sub come on and score Shrimp there still. But it's a good result for Palace there, away from home. So well done to.
I think there was at home. I think.
No, I mean Palace away from home there. So it was a decent result for them still. Yeah. So well done to
they're grinding.
They grind out a result there still, and you could say possibly it's the right result, because both teams are so close to each other, 13th and 14th, and only 1 point separates them. So maybe a draw was the balanced result there. So yeah, what about you, Grand Champ? Anything on that game or no comments?
Watkins done well.
Oh yeah, there you go. Still, and then we move on to what's it called, Leeds versus Brighton. There, I mean, Brighton came into that game in very good form. Leeds, what's it called, came into that game in awful form. So for Leeds, they needed anything from that game. And Danny Welbeck, who's been in very good form there, not scoring form, but good form on the pitch there. He scored a very good goal there. And it looked like maybe there'd be an avalanche of goals there from Brighton, because the last game, I think they won 4-0 over Man United. So you thought maybe Brighton would, score goals for fun there. But Leeds held out, and then eventually got their rewards. Because even before they equalized, Leeds were in control of the game, and they were unfortunate, missing bare chances. So
that game should have ended with goal more than 1-1.
It's true, and I think Leeds
chances.
Yeah. So both teams had clear chances, but Leeds ended the game stronger, and I think they deserved something from that game, which they did. And that point could be very important, because obviously it moved them out of the relegation places, even though they're still favourite to finish in that last relegation spot.
They're going.
So yeah. So we're moving on to the next game there, where relegated Watford versus Leicester there still. And then we've mentioned Watford in the last few episodes. There's not much to say about Watford and retiring Hodgson again, because he's retired twice now. I think this might be his last one anyway. They scored the first goal, nice goal there from Pedro and stuff. You're thinking that maybe, because Leicester, we knew Leicester would concede anyway, but they hardly keep a clean sheet. But
go on.
Yeah, go on.
Can I ask you a quick question? Because I saw the game here, and I saw Vardy play. I saw Madison, and who was the other guy? I think Barnes.
Barnes.
They haven't started that much games this season. Okay.
Which one?
Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
3, yeah. If they've started more games this season for Leicester, do you think they will have done better? I know this defense is poor, but if those 3 started more games with Tillensman in the midfield,
possibly called? I think maybe, because at the moment with their
but those 3 are lethal when they play. Remember them last season.
But what I'm saying is possibly they might be a bit closer to West Ham, but I don't think they would. Yeah, maybe, because at the moment with those victories, back-to-back wins and stuff, they moved up to 9th, because before, a couple of weeks ago, they were 14th or whatever, so they picked up still. So maybe if they had kept them all fit, maybe possibly they might have been where West Ham were, like maybe challenging West Ham and Man United and above Wolves. So yeah, possibly you're right there. If they had kept all 3 fit, especially Vardy.
That game still.
Because Vardy, there was question marks. Even I was teasing, saying that Vardy's legs are old. And then I think Grand Champ said in the chat room the other week there, one of our chat rooms, that he should be a benchman still. Maybe Vardy heard both of us questioning him there, and he done back-to-back braces. So good on the old Vardy there. I think now, because he was out for a while, and now he's he's got 16 Prem goals there. I think he's either 3rd or 4th in the Prem scorers charts there still.
Vardy, yeah.
It's true. I mean, some teams haven't even got any of their players in double figures there. So for Vardy to be in away for that long, I think he was off for 2.5 months to come back, and there you are.
This is our football quickly, but just quick rumors. What's going on with Vardy's wife and Wayne Rooney's wife?
Yeah, but this it's been going the Wagger bill or whatever they call it. It's been going on for a while there. I think Vardy's wife he leaked something about Rooney's wife, and next minute it came out and all that, and it's costing a lot of money still. He's
going to bring a lot of money. That's why I'm, just a lot of people.
I think it's about bragging rights anyway. It's about bragging rights, but the only thing is, I think the husbands just go there just to show a bit of moral support. The husbands are not really interested in.
That's probably why Vardy's been missing in the game lately.
Possibly there you go still. So possibly Leicester's season might end on a better note if they can finish in the top 10. It's a salvage season there, as I said. As I said last week, there, Rodgers, he's got enough credit in the bank there still to say that he can get away with this kind of type of season there still.
I understand what you mean, yeah.
So
he's got enough credit still.
Yeah, that's it. So Have you got anything to say on that game there, Grand Champ?
No, not much. Vardy just scored against their teams in the
Right, it's true, but he still has to find the net anyway, even though Vardy's legs are gone still, but he's still doing a little bit of a job there. And then we move on to what's it called? It was a sensational game at what's it called at the London Stadium there still, where West Ham there, they blew out the blocks there because it was, I did say last week, this might be the game where possibly what's it called? City could lose because of or drop points because of their defensive frailties because of injuries to Diaz, Walker, and Cole. And then what's it called? And also it's Mark Noble's last called home game there before he retires there in front of his own crowd there still. So I thought that West Ham will put on a show, and what a hell of a show that they put on there still. And their player of the season, even he's up there as maybe one of the Prem players of the season, let alone he's definitely West Ham's player of the season. The votes are already collected or whatever or in, but he's definitely Bowen. I mean, previous episodes, Grand Champ has been talking about, does he get a call up there? Not only does he get a call up, he should be starting for England there still, because what he's producing on the pitch there for West Ham, it should be enough to get him into the first team for England. So he's outperformed other people in that position.
What position though? What are you talking about? What position?
Well, he could be playing. He could be playing on the right or on what's it called? Because he plays on the right there for West Ham still. He doesn't play up front. He plays on the right still. So what's it called? I know Saka's been playing there still, but what's it called? He's outperformed Saka in the goal scoring charts anyway. Not just Saka, he's outperformed Sterling and Rashford. You name it. He's outperformed them all still. So
I need to see one more season before I can start.
Well, I'm sorry. What's it called? I mean,
I'm not talking about England. I'm talking about for my football. You know.
Oh yeah. So what's it called? And then for me, what's it called? Very good goals there. Brilliant runs from timing of the runs to stay on side and good composure to score both of those goals there still. And then me as a Liverpool fan, I was like this. Come on, West Ham, blow the bubbles more. And then next minute, what's it called? I think the excitement there from West Ham. They didn't. What you need to do is try and keep. You know that Pep. It's a bit like Klopp when Liverpool and City are losing at halftime, which is is a rarity for both teams to be losing anyway, especially at halftime. You know that the manager's going to be throwing fire at the players and telling them what they need to do about respecting themselves and all that. So we know that City's going to come out. What's it called? With real fire. What West Ham needed to do was to try and cage that fire. And it was a poor, header from Dawson, and no one, went up to block Grealish. Maybe they thought because Grealish is, hasn't done nothing too much. And then Grealish scored their very important, goal to bring them back in. And the next minute before you know it, is their own goal. Poor defending from Kufalo or whatever his name was. I mean, I know there's a bit of pressure behind him, but to score the own goal like that was poor defending. Regardless if it was a Liverpool defender, whatever kind of defender, to pull it in the net like that under not too much pressure was poor defending. And then, VAR. Look how long, I don't know how the referee missed that one anyway. We're talking about VAR in the, Spurs game against Burnley. How the referee didn't know that was a penalty spot right on in live time. And look how long VAR took to award it. And then also for the referee to, to go and look at it how many times anyway. But Mahrez, he's missed a few important penalties. But that one was one of the most important ones anyway. And he blew himself, thankfully, anyway. Because if he had scored, almost that would have been it. You just
wanted them to lose that day, don't you?
No, all I wanted them obviously to drop points. A loss would have been a bonus. But at least them dropping points has done something. As long as, Liverpool still need to win their game against Southampton tomorrow. We'll talk about that.
You'll beat Southampton, don't worry.
But Mahrez had everything in his hands or in his left foot to put the Premiership virtually back in their cabinet. Doesn't even leave their cabinet, but they the quadruple and the Prem, whoever wins the Prem, even though they're still favourites, lives for another couple of days.
They think it's there already. When I saw the lineup anyway with City, I saw Fernandinho at the back. I was like, okay, here we go again, That's
I don't know why. You have to question. Is that a blow to Ake or whatever his name is?
Do you understand? We know you play Ake there normally with, maybe because they're two left footer. Maybe.
Possibly. You might be right. The balance is not there still. So possibly, as you said, that might be one of the only things that keeps that he doesn't want to play both in as you said, it's unbalanced. So that might be the only thing that doesn't play him anyway. But we'll see what happens.
Well done to both of them anyway, but still, City's got this back. What did you say, Grandchild?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Oh.
No, he's asking if you've got anything to say on the game.
It's still in City's hands.
Oh, yeah, it's still in City's hands. But for me, Liverpool need to win tomorrow. They don't need to win 4-0 or whatever, do any nonsense like what happened against Crystal Palace many years ago when we were trying to score so many goals. Next minute, Palace came back from 3-0 down to 3-3. Liverpool, all they need to do is win tomorrow, and then I'll be on the phone to Gerrard. Liverpool fans all over the place will be emailing, phoning Gerrard, players, cop, and telling Gerrard on the last day of the season, take whatever you need, be it old buses, old trains, old tanks, or whatever, you name it, double-decker buses or whatever, park them at the Etihad, 7-8 defenders behind the ball, get the draw or even a victory, and we'll give you one of the winners' medals. You can say you officially won the Prem if you somehow stop City winning the Prem and Liverpool get it. But we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow's the game. If Liverpool don't win tomorrow, it's gone. So we'll leave it at that still. But the quadruple is still on it, even though I keep saying that anyway. But we'll move on to a team that's been in a bit of patchy form for quite a while, which is Wolves. And they played Norwich. You'd have thought that anytime even if you're in poor form, there's the one team that you want to play, or one of the two teams that you want to play is either Norwich or Watford. So especially at home, you think that you would beat Norwich there. Even though Norwich, for me, Timo Pukki should have had a hat-trick even before could have had a brace before he scored his third opportunity, because he had two good opportunities before that at 0-0. And then he scored his 11th goal of the season. I think that equals his highest goals that he scored in a season there still, which was a few seasons ago. But yeah, Norwich are dead anyway. Wolves, as I said, they've been stuck in 8th place for such a long time.
They've just been maintaining that level.
Yes. So But there's a bit of pressure now. Yeah. There's a bit of pressure from the likes of Brighton and Brentford, and even possibly Newcastle. So they might not even finish. If they're not careful, they might not even finish in the top 10 there still. So, and then it'll be a poor season there. And then we got a Everton versus Brentford. I always knew that this was going to be a difficult game for Everton still.
You see, a very nice attacking game. I watched it as well, up and down football. It was nice. But
so what did you think about, do you think that was a penalty there before the red card to Braithwaite? Do you think it was a penalty on Richarlison there still?
Yes.
Because for me, I think both people were pulling each other's shirt. Maybe the defender for Brentford was pulling a bit more.
Yeah.
That's what I think, that the referee thought that I'm not going to give a penalty because both of them are at it.
I think it was a penalty.
Yeah, it's possible. You edged to that as a penalty because, as I said, I think the Brentford player had the shirt a bit more there still.
Definitely.
But for me, I was hearing other pundits, football pundits, saying that the red card for Braithwaite was unlucky. For me, that tackle. The letter of the law, you're the last man, and you tripped. Unfortunately, you tripped. Ivan Toney. You're the last man, and he's in a goal. He's en route to goal. The letter of the law is a red card, regardless. Unlucky or not unlucky, he blew himself anyway. Still, for me, you let Toney go, because at that time it's still you're still leading 1-0, and you don't know if Toney will score. He might score, he might not, but at least you still have 11 players on the pitch there still. And then it was a topsy-turvy game where Everton, even when they equalised, the 10 men then went ahead with a penalty there just before half-time there. And then And then after that, a few tactical moves from the manager of Brentford there. Let me just try and get his name there still. Thomas Frank. He took off two central defenders and brought on them what's it called, like attacking players there, because he knew that Everton were not. I mean, maybe he's doing a Burnley there still. Everton haven't got it in them.
He's trying to win the game.
What Sean Dyche said a couple months or so ago, and then it worked a treat. And once again, you always know that Eriksen will find himself involved with some assists.
That pass.
Yeah. What's it called? A January transfer for Brentford. There, he's revived them still, because they were dead there still, seeking spare parts for their tires there every time, going for MOTs and servicing there still.
He just makes them look smoother for some reason. Like when I see them play.
The only unfortunate thing for them is that is that many other teams are going to poach Eriksen, because it's only a 6 months contract, and
Eriksen stay loyal to Brentford. Come on.
I mean, you could say, in football, there's no loyalty anymore. Still, we'll talk about loyalty if we got enough time there with what happened with the case in Chelsea. If we got enough time, I think we have anyway, because the time hasn't come up, but. I think maybe he'll be good back at Spurs. Spurs might have a look at him there still. A few other teams, because I mean the thing that he's got in his body there is working 100% there still, and he looks very fresh there. And it's been a wonderful signing for them. So yeah, and it's been, you look at the table there. I think Everton might have just escaped relegation because of what possibly there, but the favourites still to go are depends on what Burnley get in midweek anyway. We'll come to that, but I think Leeds are still favourite to go down, and Brentford, almost mid-table there still, 11th. So that's a very good season for them anyway. Still,
I think that bottom three looks certain right now.
Well, we said that last week, didn't we, when Leeds were there? So So we can't.
Why I'm saying that is because me and Grandchap want
I know you both want Burnley to go down. I don't mind Burnley going down anyway. Max Cornet will be on the next plane elsewhere because he's too good for them still. What do you have to say on that one, Grand Champ? Sorry?
Nothing really. I just want Burnley to go down.
Well, there you go still. Well, anyway, let's move on to the game that, finished about 2 hours ago or something there at St. James's Park. St. James's Park. It's not easy, Alan Shearer said yesterday on Match of the Day 2. He said it's going to be tough. For me, I knew it was going to be tough because Liverpool, I think, even though Liverpool should, as a couple of weeks ago, Liverpool should have only scraped through 1-0 there still. Yeah. But that was only because of greed from, Jota in that game anyway still. So we leave that alone. We don't need to keep mentioning Liverpool. But for me, Arsenal had it in their own hands. Yes, they had the difficult last two games, which was Newcastle and Everton, Newcastle away and Everton at home. Spurs had Burnley at home and away to Norwich. So this game was always a must-win for Arsenal there still.
Can I ask you a question? It's not an excuse. If they had all the defenders, would they have won this game today?
No, because I'm sorry, if you watch the game, Arsenal were poor. Regardless, defensively, they were shaky from the set-off. Ramsdale was having a mare. But even if they had their defenders or whatever you want to say, offensively, they didn't really trouble Newcastle. So even if they did, for me, I thought it was a bit of a strange lineup. Why was Smith Rowe ahead of Martinelli? And once again, we always talk about it. Why is Pepe not getting into his team? If you're not going to play Martinelli, at least try and play Pepe. We've been saying that for a while. Even Grand Champ there still. Grand Champ, do you want to say anything on this game still? I know it's not easy. It's a hard pill to swallow from when the grasp for top four almost is slipped away. What do you have to say?
Fucking teams, they're fucking bottle jobs.
Sorry about the language there, but it's not easy.
They're just fucking bottle jobs.
Well, let's
the whole club's a bottle job. Last few days ago, I didn't even watch the Spurs game because I said we're gonna lose that game. I was out there eating with friends. Obviously, I had a notification on my app. We lost 3-0. I thought, okay, cool. In the derby, just imagine that because they knew they were bottle jobs. Whenever the top gets going, they're bottle jobs. One of my biggest regrets this season is that I support two teams that are bottle jobs. The Nigerians flipping Super Eagles, bottle jobs. Flipping Arsenal, bottle jobs. Not one player today could raise their heads up. I don't care how young, how old they are, all flipping bottle jobs. Arteta, trust the process. What process? It's been 3 years now. We finished 8th twice. Now we're probably likely going to finish 5th.
Well, it's an improvement, isn't it?
I don't. Please.
I know what you're trying to say.
We haven't been to the Champions League since the 2015, 2016.
Well, since Wenger.
Since 2015, 2016 season. That's almost looking like almost 6 years now. All flipping bottle jobs. I can't stand the club, how we've been managed. I can't stand Arteta's management for isolating players, where you're telling me when we're struggling for players, you look to the bench. We couldn't bring in Aubameyang. We couldn't bring in Guendouzi. We're playing half-fit defenders. Saliba just won league player of the season, young player of the season. These players are not good enough. You had Ramsdale playing there all season, even though for the last 10 games, Ramsdale's been shaky and poor. For some reason, you don't even rotate the players just to give them some sort of fighting chance or make them install some fear into them that nobody's guaranteed. Nketiah, crap. Martinelli today, crap. Saka, crap. Odegaard, crap. Granit fucking Xhaka. My goodness, how this guy keeps getting contract extensions, crap. And then the incompetent board of Arsenal would not even secure top 4 yet because it was still in our hands. What do? We give Arteta a new contract. A new contract for what? We've conceded more goals this season. We've scored less this season. We've lost more games this season. So tell me what progress we have made. Or because we're going to finish 5th. We shouldn't even be finishing 5th. If United win this crap this season after buying Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo.
Forget that team, please.
We shouldn't even be where we are. And then those 3 crucial games against Brighton, Southampton, and wherever we lost to has cost us this season. And when the top games go into Arsenal, it's ridiculous. They're all flipping bottle jobs, man. I'm so pissed off. And why I'm so even angry is not for the fact that they won lost, but the fact that I gave my time and energy to watch the game. I'm angry. They ruined my whole evening. I'm angry.
Of course, I don't blame you because
I'm angry.
As I said previously, when you get an opportunity like this, when there's an opening like that for 4th place, when there's a chance, you have to take it, especially in your own hand.
And just to add to it, today we were battered all game. Yep. Ramsdale, they looked like they went out partying last night. Ramsdale was awful. There was no urgency from
every single player, like you mentioned. This is one of those
no urgency.
Sorry,
and then for some reason, Arteta every time seems to pick on Tavares. Tavares was still running down the line. What do you do? First of all, you put Martinelli left back. The next one is Xhaka there. The next one is Stewart. My goodness, man. I can't stand the guy, man.
You talk about people being rushed back. What Tomasaki or whatever his name was turned into sushi. What happened there by Sam Maximan? I couldn't ragged sushi.
All of them, they all need to go gym because they couldn't handle Maximan and Wilson. They were fragile. They're physically fragile. They're mentally fragile. Literally everything about the club is fragile, including the fan base like me who's upset right now. I'm fragile right now. I don't feel like supporting these guys.
There's no leaders. Any leaders?
Couldn't care. The whole team. I wish I could press a reset button on that team, like Ultimate Team on FIFA. I would click on reset and wipe out all of them. All of them. Clean. All of them.
Same thing.
For me, I think, definitely for me, no leaders when you need that.
Forget the leaders, they're crap. No,
I agree with you. That's why I'm saying I had the argument with with my fellow Liverpool fans about Henderson being a very good leader. He brings he might not have the talent, but he brings the respect and leadership to the
Henderson,
the leaders, the 11 players.
Henderson would walk into the Arsenal team and start every day, every week in.
Guys need to take responsibility.
But some people say, is that how bad Arsenal are if Henderson's starting? But definitely, I agree with you.
If Arsenal add 2 of Henderson in midfield today, they wouldn't. We would at least probably try salvage a draw. El Nini crap. Jack, oh my goodness, man. And Arteta's telling me People like Obama, and you couldn't swallow your pride. Like how Conte swallowed his pride against Costa and goes across the line, then go rid of Costa. You couldn't swallow your
I think that's the problem because he's a novice manager. Novice manager.
Now, I'm going to name you 4 or 5 players that could have helped our season this season. Aubameyang scoring goals at Barcelona, even though he's gone dry now a little bit, he could have helped. Guendouzi in midfield in front of any of those crap. He's played for the French team. Saliba is doing decent right now. Pepe for 77 million, you've frozen him out. You don't play him. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a much better defender than Felipe Cedric Suarez, and also so Suarez, who cost us a penalty against. I could keep on ranting, and boy, have I got a migraine. And to be honest, I don't know why my feelings are shown today because I really didn't want to talk and be like. It happens because
I can understand where you are because
they pissed me off. They pissed me off. 6 years now, no Champions League football. And listen, if Arsenal get from now on, when Arsenal get brushed, if I ever back them, then call me something else. I would never. Bottle job.
That's how I feel with Manchester United as well. It's terrible.
I remember. I think it was last week or the week before. You were talking about you want to hear that Champions League music and your team involved. The Champions League.
And they want me to buy season tickets. They want me to buy season ticket. They want me to buy a ticket to the Emirates or buy a kit. I've said it. Until things don't change, I'm not buying no kit. I'm not visiting the Emirates. Call me a fake fan. I'm not doing none of that. Until they start making me happy again, then I could start doing something. Why should I keep supporting something blindly? Doesn't make sense.
What's it called? Well done there anyway. Let's just quickly do the quick little predictions there. Who's going to get the final 3rd place of relegation? Is it Leeds, Burnley, or Everton?
Burnley.
I hope Burnley.
I hope Burnley, but I think it's going to be Leeds. So who's winning the Premiership? City or Liverpool?
Man City. I hope Man City.
Quickly, AY Putty?
City.
For me, Liverpool's going to win the quadruple. And what's it called? And then who's finishing 4th? Because Arsenal, even though Arsenal blew themselves.
Listen. Norwich ain't going to win. Spurs need only a draw. They don't only agree. But you don't know. Spurs could blow themselves like they did against Brighton and other teams there still.
Exactly. Spurs, Arsenal, and Man United. They're not consistent with big games.
Thank you. There you go. Spurs were even lucky to get a point. I mean, get the 3 points against Burnley there still. So Arsenal, they need to put on their what's it called? They need to be on putting on some. They have to do some juju or whatever, spaghetti gate or poison gate or whatever they did that a couple of years ago when was it a decade ago when Spurs what's it called bellies were gone.
I didn't see Spurs from nowhere. I was still thinking it's Man United.
Well,
Arsenal fighting for that top
the Prem season is almost at the end. The Prem season is almost at the end, and looks like it's going to be dramatic last day of the season, depending if Liverpool can get the 3 points tomorrow. Then it could be the Premiership, 2 places fighting for the top spots, fourth 2 teams fighting for that, and maybe 2 teams fighting for the last relegation place.